Reckless or negligent behavior can lead to both criminal and civil liability. Is proof of causation sufficient to establish civil liability also enough for a criminal conviction? The prosecution argued that it was, in People versus Warner-Lambert. Warner-Lambert manufactured chewing gum in its Long Island City plant. Warner's manufacturing process produced magnesium stearate dust, which accumulated on some of the equipment and in the air. Although widely used and generally considered safe, this dust posed a significant risk of explosion if ignited while in the air in sufficient concentration. The manufacturing process also used liquid nitrogen to cool the machinery, which might under certain circumstances produce liquid oxygen, an extremely volatile substance that can easily ignite and then explode. One day, toward the end of a shift, only one machine was operating. Workers were clearing away the magnesium dust from that machine and from some overhead pipes. Suddenly, there was an explosion near the machine, quickly followed by a larger explosion and fire. 6 employees were killed, and 50 others were injured. A grand jury indicted Warner and 4 corporate officials for second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. The grand jury heard evidence that the initial explosion occurred at the operating machine and released more dust into the atmosphere, which could have caused the subsequent explosion. An employee testified that he'd seen a spark near the machine just before the disaster. Expert testimony supported a theory that this spark was caused by a machinery breakdown and triggered the first explosion. Additional expert testimony theorized that liquid oxygen could have been present and been ignited by moving metal parts. There was no proof of the explosion's direct cause. Evidence indicated that Warner was aware that the dust levels were potentially dangerous and that the company had begun to solve the problem by modernizing its equipment to eliminate the use of magnesium stearate. But the necessary changes hadn't yet been completed. Warner moved to dismiss the indictment on the grounds that the evidence presented to the grand jury wasn't legally sufficient to prove the charged crimes. The trial court granted the motion, but the appellate division reversed. Warner appealed to the New York Court of Appeals.